What's going on, Meta fam? We're here to talk about, that's right, the Nextbridge hydrocarbons press release, and we got the 10Q financials there as well. And on that, Ali posted yesterday as we ended the Twitter space with John Berta, Tony Market Moves, and S1 Gray. Trading Secrets put this out. It happened literally right as we were ending that space. Here we got Trading Secrets sharing the 10Q, and we got a couple tweets from Tony breaking down all this here. But I figured in today's video, we were going to cover this whole article, get everything out there. That way we have it for record as well. That's why we love having these videos. And then we're going to go over Tony's tweets, breaking down a little bit of the 10Q as well. All right, so let's go ahead and deactivate the camera. And let's focus on this article. Here you can see published May 16th, 8 a.m. Eastern Time. Nextbridge Hydrocarbons acquires remaining working interest in the Oro Grande project. And the first thing you see here in bold, right on this, Nextbridge now owns 100% of working interest in the Oro Grande project. Yes. May 16th, Nextbridge Hydrocarbons, private oil and natural gas exploration and production company with interest in Texas and Oklahoma, announced today that it has closed the previously announced transaction contemplated by certain agreement and plan a merger. The merger agreement dated December 21st, 2022, among certain subsidiaries of Nextbridge, Wolfbone Investments, McCabe Petroleum, and Greg McCabe, the sole owner of Wolfbone and MPC McCabe. The transactions contemplated by the merger agreement became effective April 25th, 2023, and the closing of the merger occurred May 11th, 2023. As a result of the merger, Nextbridge now controls Wolfbone's 22.6% remaining rights to working interest in the oil and natural gas project the company holds in the Oro Grande Basin in West Texas and Hudspeth County. The Oro Grande project, as considered for the working interest, Nextbridge issued 56.297 million shares of common stock to McCabe. The company also announced it has entered into the transaction described in 6 separate contribution and exchange agreements to acquire the remaining 10.87% working interest in the Oro Grande project. Nextbridge now operates its entire land position in the Oro Grande project with 100% working interest across approximately 134,000 continuous block acres. Under various contribution agreements, the company issued the aggregate 27 million shares of its common stock to each of the 6 separate working interest owners to acquire the remaining working interest in the Oro Grande project. Similar to the terms of the merger agreement, each of the former working interest owners was issued shares of Nextbridge in proportion to the amount of working interest each owned in the Oro Grande project. Commencing the transaction, Clifton DeBose Jr., Nextbridge chairman and chief executive officer, stated, "We are pleased to have closed the Wolfbone merger while successfully negotiating agreements with the other 6 working interest owners in the Oro Grande project. The completion of all these separate transactions to acquire the remaining working interest in the Oro Grande project marks a significant milestone for Nextbridge, as we now own 100% of our most valuable asset. Nextbridge will now fully control our development and reap 100% of the value and proceeds of the Oro Grande project once it is developed. We also note and appreciate the trust that Gregory McCabe and other working interest owners have shown us and developed the Oro Grande project in order to provide returns to all of us shareholders as we continue our drilling and operational plans." Guys, this is really exciting. I'm going to point out a couple things here, and then we're going to get to Tony's tweets here. But right here, here it says, Nextbridge, as we now own 100% of our most valuable asset. Guys, if this was a worthless, all the shills and the fudsters out there, if this was worthless, would they be putting this kind of stuff in the PR? Would Mr. Gregory McCabe keep, getting more shares of this if it was worthless? You know what I mean? Gregory McCabe has funded it. He is the largest shareholder, and he believes in this. That's why he's still acquiring more and more to get more of this asset. he's going to be well off in this situation. And this is coming from Clifton DeBose Jr. here. This is the most valuable asset. And, they wouldn't say that, like I said, if this thing was worthless. So that's just my thoughts and opinions on that. To me, this is very bullish, in my opinion, that we now have that. Now, we don't know how long it's going to take. They got to develop the land. They probably got to get so many wells out there. And who knows, depending where the oil market's at, it may be a good time or a bad time, depending. They may not want to sell for the next couple of years. If they found more, areas in the land that could make this even more valuable, and you may have to wait another, however long it could be, guys, it's going to pay off more down the road. I know it sucks waiting, but still in the background of all. This is just the asset value of the, Nextbridge MMTLP. This doesn't include all the FINRA fraud and, how they screwed us over and possible, lawsuits down there. There's arbitration, class action, and other, the RICO lawsuits as well. There's all kind of avenues. Highly suggest go listen to that space call. I posted it yesterday on the YouTube. The volume was a little bit not the best. I did the Twitter space call on my phone, and I held the phone to my microphone, and it didn't really translate too well, so I may go do another recording from the Twitter space itself because I actually recorded and get a better audio of it and upload that maybe this weekend to the YouTube as well. It was a little over an hour, and John Berta was just answering questions. There's a lot of great thoughts and opinions in that as well. All right, let's keep going here. So Tony here has this tweet. Nextbridge Hydrocarbons now owns 100% of the working interest of the Oro Grande project. 100% working interest means that NBH gets all of the revenues after royalties. 25% are paid out. NBH is now the one-stop shop for the 3.2 billion barrels of oil plus natural gas in the Oro Grande project. Very positive. And these are a couple slides that Tony has out here. I'm going to minimize the camera, and we will zoom in on his slides. And you may see this in one of his next videos. So make sure that you are subscribed to Mr. Tony's channel. Why that does that sometimes. I got a touch screen here. Looks like we've got the 10Q there. He has a couple things here highlighted. 100%, 100%. And here you got the shares issued and outstanding. Total now 248.8 million shares there. And keep in mind, there's only 500 million. One thing to keep in mind here, guys, there's only 500 million shares that can be authorized. And now there's almost already half of that gone, 248 million. So going to be very interesting here to see what happens as you see. Yeah. All right, let's go to the next thing here. Here we got Tony's other tweet. He says, NBH now owns 100% of the working interest of the Oro Grande. 100% working interest means NBH gets all the revenues after royalties. Is that the same thing? Is that the same thing I had there? It is, but that's not what I wanted. This is what I wanted. This one here that he had. Yeah, this is the one here I wanted to do. This is the one. The significance of the 100% working interest. NBH pays for and controls 100% of the drilling / exploration activity. A big deal. Don't have to ask permission from other working interest owners of when, where, and how much to drill or spend on drilling. A buyer of the land assets could just buy NBH and get 100% of the working interest. That there is the very key point why that is very bullish now, because when you have all those different working interests, you don't own it all. Now we own it all. It is a one-stop shop. I could not agree anymore. Tony nailed it again. I'll be excited to see Tony put out a video on all this. He breaks it down really good. Huge shout out to Tony for co-hosting yesterday, along with Mr. S1 Gray, excellent co-host. Huge prop to John Berta for coming on there and answering our questions. We had a lot of familiar names pop in the Twitter space chat and got a lot of great questions answered. And yeah, that's all I got for you in today's video. Love and appreciate every single one of you guys. Peace.